Can you hear me? Well, we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our fantabulous Saturday morning technical difficulties. It's been a while. It's been a while, people. But we're back with another Heyward CPA Live in effect while my partner gets his sound card situated. I hope everyone had a great week. We are now in March. March 8th to be exact. There we go.
You hear me now?
I hear you now.
That makes no sense whatsoever.
I mean,
that makes absolutely no sense.
The world is full of no sense right about now.
That makes no sense. I don't understand. I had the doggone, you know what? That makes no sense.
It's okay. It's okay. We
don't like it.
We just adapt and adjust. We just adapt and adjust. We move around.
But I'm clear as day. That makes no sense. Anyway, I don't have time to tech support it right now. So it is what it is, man.
No doubt.
Yeah, man. Nah, but we good. We good. We could pump up. I could get full resolution now.
Yeah. So March 8th, everyone. Thank you for joining another Heyward CPA Live episode. So, what is this? This is the second Saturday of March. And we have 3 more Saturdays to go. Matter of fact, tomorrow is daylight savings time. So what does that mean? We lose an hour. Or do we gain an hour?
Gain an hour.
Gain an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, because we go forward. But do we really gain an hour? Too early for that.
I don't know. Or do we lose an hour? I don't know what we do, man.
We go forward, so that means we gain an hour.
Oh,
right? No, so we lose an hour going forward.
Lose an hour going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about none of this, man. It's all too much going on for the homie. Time is flying, so
it is. The days are slow, but the years are fast.
Yeah, so we in the building though. We up here.
Doubt.
We back. My sound is working, and I'm on this one here. I got a light, but it's good. This is a good workout. I had to pull my thing for our book of the week.
Oh, okay.
Books of the week. I'm trying to. Because I've been rolling though. I've been checking out a lot of joints. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't been on my app. I've been studying other things. What we're working on over there at Biz Therapy. But I did get into a book this week as well. Very interesting book, by the way. Matter of fact, the title is really crazy, and this is not to steal your thunder. This is really on a personal. You can use it for personal, professional, specifically. But it was very, very interesting book, man. The title sounds crazy, but the title makes sense.
Okay.
How to hug a porcupine.
Yeah, that does sound crazy.
But the breakdown of the concept makes total sense, man. Makes total sense, right? So, basically, identifying human porcupines, difficult people, difficult situations, and how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Right? How to deal with, toxicity in the workplace, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the community, right? And guess what? If you learn how to deal with porcupines, how to hug a porcupine, you're actually not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it to help them out so they could be less porcupine-ish. But the concept really was, and again, this is relatable on all things, is understanding, I don't want to use that T word, right? But understanding the capacity of the person or persons that you're dealing with.
Understand that. So the capacity.
So,
you know what? That's actually interesting. I mean, because I got something to say about that.
Yeah, you was hugging on porcupine this week.
Yeah, so I think we can focus on that one. We can put that up. This is perfect. It's totally perfect. It fits. It fits the format.
Yeah.
I mean, completely. Because I was all up on the porcupine love.
Yeah, for real. So,
like,
knowing that the porcupines, because of their level of capacity, when it gets close to it or hits it, that's when their pines start to pork you straight out. They rise. So if you're dealing with them in understanding their capacity, you're able to keep their pines from being poked out.
wow.
Right?
Wow.
It's almost like saying to yourself, because people use the word, they'll use the phrase, take the high road, be the bigger person, but those things are detrimental to yourself as an individual, right? Because one of the key points in the book, it says you got to make sure you love yourself, right? So loving yourself is not saying, let me fold myself up because of the other. I don't want to hurt the other person or piss the other person or create a trigger for the other person. Loving yourself is knowing who you are, how you handle things, and then identifying the surroundings or the people that you're dealing with, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to go to a gunfight with a knife, right? So why even try it unless that's you absolutely put into that type of situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Wow.
And then they break out some of the key points, like death doesn't hold grudges.
It's slow. So yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you on that.
Death does not hold grudges. I mean, it was plain as day with that one right there.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was hold on, let me just pull back up.
Porcupine. That's a nice looking porcupine. It looks more like a teddy bear.
He looked crazy though.
Hey, you look crazy.
It looked like it hurt, man.
Yeah, well, you know what? It was interesting about this picture. Not while you gather. What's interesting about this is that the porcupine, like it looks like, you look at the eyes, like a real porcupine look crazy, right? But
right,
it's almost like, I think I'm going to do an interpretation here. The eyes of the porcupine are welcoming. It looks like a little, like a huggy bear or something. But if you go hug it, it's gonna be prickly as heck. You're gonna be messed up. So that's my art interpretation for the morning. You know what I'm saying? I got that. But how to hug a porcupine?
Yeah. So they say, like, people that are porcupines or human porcupines act just like their namesake, right? So like, if you identify with a lion or a wolf or a bear or a monkey, or not a monkey in terms of monkey, but gorilla, like like a silverback, the strength and the anger of a silverback, you know what I mean?
If you identify as a monkey,
you know what I mean? It's crazy, but yeah, it was it's yeah, it's a really good book. Just read it. I mean, they got a lot of key points. I'm just kind of perusing over my notes because I wasn't going to go that deep into it. You know what I'm saying? But the point of the book is no one is unlovable until you know how to love them.
That's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
So yes, porcupine love. That's what went down. So this is by for those of you listening just to the audio, as you clean up Saturday morning, as you clean it up, vacuuming, doing all the stuff your moms used to make you do Saturday morning, or your pops, whoever was running your show. This is written by June Eating, EDIG. So, and for one of our mainstay viewers who's throwing their good morning in, this was seen on TikTok. So you can find it on TikTok. How to hug a porcupine. Easy ways to love the difficult people in your life. No one is exempt.
No.
No one is exempt. So that's a good one. Well, you told me about it, but I didn't know how hard you was going.
Yeah. It was really good, man. I went through it twice.
Oh wow.
And I'm gonna keep it at the top of the list because I'm actually gonna go through it once a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because whether I run into a porcupine or not, there's still some of those pines sticking around. They might fall off, poke you,
and come back.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing with hugging a porcupine. And no, it's good. I mean, I think just right now. So how it relates to is your client relationships. And I hugged the porcupine, man. It was a stone groove. Hugging the porcupine. Porcupine, but just because you hug it doesn't mean it's not a porcupine.
Yeah. Right. Hence how you hug it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you learn how to, you
go into it knowing, you're aware. You're like,
yeah. That's a big part. I think that's what, in my experience this week, which will carry forward, it's knowing that, okay, you know what you're dealing with. So, and it's funny because I've always said this in other places that you can only get disappointed if you expect something. So if your expectation is that someone's going to be this or that, and it wasn't even set up that they could be that, you're going to disappoint yourself. You'll be right with disappointment.
Well, the crazy part to that is that you already built up the wall to not even go there or let it come to you when you set that expectation, right? Yeah. And I think what the book is saying is, if you notice, as long as you're aware of this, you can still proceed in dealing with that person or that client, right? And just know their capacity and your expectation. There's no expectations at that point, because expectations is I guess false outcomes, right?
Yeah. And then so you get jammed up. I'm gonna put it back up there, just so you know, because I really do like the picture though. The picture is kind of cool. Like the hug of porcupine, because this is essential. A lot of people going through this, having difficult conversations with family, friends, employers, co-workers, clients, as we're saying. Everybody has someone, and it is, I would imagine, because I haven't read it, but it's I would just put the nuance that someone may not even be, they might be a porcupine to you. So they may not be a porcupine, generally speaking. Your relationship might be porcupinish. So
you just, because it said one of the key points in here is accept your own quirks and nobody's words or their idiosyncrasies will affect you. Right. So understand how your defensiveness manifests itself, man. And I was reading that book, man. I was doing both. I was listening and reading, and I was just I was touched. I was like, man, this thing is simple how it's explained, but the complexity of of dissecting certain key points that they want you to look at within yourself and look at within your situation or your business, right? Because as a service provider, we always have to try to anticipate and understand who we're dealing with and how the outcome that we're trying to get to is going to affect that situation, that service, that person when we get to the outcome, right? But it's the walk on the way to the outcome, which is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, this was a good one. That's a great one. See, I love when these production meetings come together like this. It's outstanding. So that's right, everybody. How to Hug a Porcupine, Easy Ways to Love the Difficult People in Your Life by, let me get the author correct here, June Eating.
Mm-hmm.
Available. You're not supposed to buy from Amazon, so find it somewhere. But it is a Kindle book and it's an audio book and like that. And that's going to segue me into my rant for the week. It's a rant for the week. Yo, this is coming together too easy. But I like, oh man, look, I got an Amazon product back there. See, the whole thing is that in my disclosed area, I ain't hiding nothing. This was going on because it's tax season. So I'm here, we working hard. It's crazy. But one thing I did want to address, because I had a good conversation on one of the days this week, because they start running together after a while.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about all this blackout stuff. Blackout, I guess, is to put pressure on these companies to, they do that to. I get it, but I'm trying to figure out what we got going on. The blackout stuff. So it's cool. It's like, it's good. It's a expression of something. But I'm kind of frustrated with the blackouts, man. So I'm gonna tell people. So this is gonna be very interesting. This is they might be after me after I say what I have to say, but that's okay because I believe in what I say. So, but the blackouts, I'm gonna start like this. Instead of being critical of the blackouts, I want to put some facts as I see it. I don't have any stats behind it, but America is addicted to retail. Like, so America's we buy stuff.
Excuse me.
It's what we do in America. Like, that's like what we do. so we're addicted to it. That's one of the things from associating. There's gonna be some sociology in here this morning. All right. So it looks like so we could make a move, both of us. We probably don't want to go to the same country. We just like we gotta leave. We gotta go to different countries. So can't go to the same country. So I'll let you pick first. So that's
I got my Marcus Aurelius on, man. Let's go.
That was my book for the week.
Oh, word.
Yeah, for real. Like, that was it. That was the one I was gonna talk about.
Gladiator.
Meditations.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So that was the one I was gonna come with, but we'll save that next week. So it's next episode. But that was it. So anyway, like, here's the thing. Now I'm saying you this is good. Exactly. All right, you following me. So it's great that everybody's saying, and I speak specifically to the culture. We talking about we gonna ban stuff and all that. And we gonna not buy this and not buy that and all this other stuff. But when the Target thing went down, and I told everybody, I said, yeah, that's cool. But it was two things that came up. One, I was searching for teas because I drink tea. And I found there was a tea company, a Brooklyn tea company, that had on their website that they are now in Target stores. It's a Black-owned company that I was able to get distributed in Target stores. So, yeah, I could buy from, they have a website, and I could buy from them on the website. Wait 2 to 3 days or 2 to 3, whatever it takes to get it. Or I could go to Target and pick it up off the shelf and buy it. And so, to me, that causes a dilemma, because knowing that it's not easy to get shelf space in these stores and stuff like that, that's a major achievement. So, if I want my Brooklyn tea, do I just, I mean, the chances are, if you feel that you're like, I want some tea, I'm thinking about the tea right now, the chances are you're not going to go online and order it and something like that. Or you go in the store and go buy the tea. But then you're giving some money to Target. So there's people that are affected by that. That's one person that's affected. That's I guess you could say is collateral damage. The other person was me directly, because I own Target stock. That's the disclaimer. I actually own the stock in Target, which made me think about something. I said, so I'm actually a shareholder. So, okay, look, I'm long-term. It pays dividends. 1 day, 10 days, whatever. Americans are not going to stop shopping at these places over the long haul unless there's an alternative. But it made me think about something. And I say, look, for the people trying to enforce change in corporations, has anyone considered, okay, don't shop there. Let's put the block together and go buy a block of the stock. Become shareholders, because we want the company to change. So we're gonna buy a part of the company and go in there and say, yo, we're gonna change it. We want this to change. So thought process. Because you're trying to change capitalism with social issues. So, but let's just say, okay, we blacked out. And they put all these things. They were proud that the sales were down 150 million. I don't know what they got these things. But did people take that money and say, yo, go buy $150 million worth of Target stock? Then at the shareholders meeting, you got this block of people that's like, yo, because when you buy stock, you get votes in a company. That's what a publicly held company is. Quite the secret people, the CEOs answer to the shareholders. They want to keep the customers happy. They want to do that, but they work for the board of directors. So to become a director, you either have to be invited or have to have a significant amount of stock, so on, so like that. You've seen all these great movies, Wall Street, leverage buyout, the whole situation like that. But no one has said anything about, you know what? We're gonna go buy, we're gonna go. And I'm not talking, because we talking about major money, that we're gonna start pulling our money together to go buy a piece of this joint.
Why are you saying, man? Hurt people, right? So that was the objective of the mission, was to hurt them instead of having some sort of control, right? And so that's what you're talking about. But no one's thinking at that level and capacity. No one's teaching and leading at that capacity, right? Because what let's talk about us. There's 1 trillion spent every year in the market.
Mm-hmm.
We could find a few million to go and buy some major
players,
stock.
A stock division. Well, a mutual fund, a fund that's run under the premise of XYZ. It's there. So okay. That's one solution to say, yo, on the day you don't go buy stock, go to your Robinhood and spend $20 buying it. Is token, but it's more like towards the case of where we're going. encourage people, go buy it. Go get this stock. Now, another alternative I thought about as well. Who's building the alternative? If we're going to talk from the DEI standpoint or whatever, who has proposed the alternative? You know what? We need to call Magic, LeBron, whoever you want. And they may not be the ones. They got the capital. But someone to be there to say, we want a diversity-owned organization that has all these products and goods that we import from China. You know, the supply chain is there. Big undertaking. Very big undertaking. But guess what? It achieves the real goal, which is to have a company owned with a diverse culture. Now, no matter what you do, Target was started in Minnesota. There's some diversity there, but it's in Minnesota. You know?
You making too much sense, man.
I know. That's why I say I might have to leave the country. Walmart, Bentonville, Arkansas. Where it was started. You know what I'm saying? And so what I'm trying to say is that I get it. Movements are good, but we use a lot of times. I get into this with my father all the time because he came of age in the 60s. So everything, you know, the 60s is had it. He always referring that. And I'm like, we can't use 20th century tactics for 21st century issues.
Right.
These are economic issues.
Right.
Yes. Civil rights gets wrapped into it. You know, inequality things, they're there. That's part of America. Like, that's not, in my opinion, that's never going to change. Like, we could say, but it is not going to change. It's woven into the fabric of this country. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's there. We talking about this economic stuff. And I'm saying, look, can we get some solutions beyond we going to boycott? It don't affect them. It don't affect them. It don't affect it. It just doesn't affect them. I mean, like, yeah, okay. What's Friday? Friday sales might have went down, and Saturday sales might have tripled.
Mm-hmm.
The sales, and then people, they celebrate. Oh, well, Target said that their sales numbers are going to be weaker. Well, it has to do with the greater good because we've been putting fear about these tariffs for whenever since the election now. And he does it, and he won't back up off of them anyway, because he backed off of every one of them anyhow, because they soften their sales and making the market go down. Come on. So if you want to affect something, you have to think differently. You have to be part of what you're trying to affect. You can't affect it from the outside. No corporation is there to do the right thing. If you go to the Secretary of State, outside of having a nonprofit, how many of y'all start your company and say in the, you know, when they ask for the reason or the purpose you're in, you say to do the right thing? I want you, if you have an articles of organization or articles of incorporation where the purpose of the organization is to do the right thing, send it to us. We'll see what it is. So why would these companies, which all started, they're all small businesses at the start. Why would these companies, they're just going to do the right thing? It's not fair and all that. I'm telling you, it's the rant of the day. It's going down.
Let's go.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk about DEI. I started my eye for DEI.
Your thesis.
Yeah, well, it's what I said. I mean, look, I said it when it started. I was like, this ain't gonna work. I said it's not gonna work. I had spirited debates. I said it's not gonna work. I was like, this is not gonna work because DEI was done, ironically, for the same thing that's happening now. DEI was done when we were getting profiles of these police killings and sitting out there, and people were outraged. Well, guess who these people are? They're customers. So if I have a big company I don't want anyone to think that I'm approving of what's happening. I don't want to, I don't want no parts of that. No. So how do we do that? Well, we show that we're committed to DEI. We're committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. So what we do, what corporations do, we're going to throw money at it by hiring somebody. Not only that, a lot of the DEI officers were women of color. You know what? We handle two things at one time. We sit here. Okay. But what did you do to change the culture of your company? Nothing. You said we're committed.
As easy as they came in, it was easy for them to get walked out the door.
Yeah. So now we back to the protest, but the protest isn't about. I'm the mud is off of me about being associated with police brutality. The mud's off of me of getting rid of a program that I put in place to make you feel good about us anyway. That steam ain't gonna last because it's really not something I did against the citizenship. It's something I put together, and now we're not doing it anymore. So it makes you seem like, oh, but so I only need one example to be like, no, we're still committed to diversity. It's like that. And that's what I keep saying. I'm like, well, DEI to me, I said, I'm telling you, I was on it this week. I said DEI to the counter is to go, I'm just going to use Target. Like I said, I am a shareholder. And look, I'm going to be real with y'all. I made some money off that stock. So like when I bought it, hey, so you call me a capitalist or whatever, but I made some bread and they still pay dividends, right? So look, here's the thing. If you have the shareholders, now you could go in. How come? Look, Target, man, listen. I don't need you to change your company to make it, like I don't need y'all to start celebrating Juneteenth and Kwanzaa, and I could care less about that. Who cares about that? The employees, I get it. Yeah, it's fine. All right. But look, we either need a private label or we need a division or we need to make gateways for Black vendors, for you to seek out Black vendors and or for them to get in there, to get in your stores. And it's on some real stuff. Not no token to just be like, yeah, okay, we do to meet our quota. That's the pressure you put on the DE, because the DEI is about the markets, about the company. They always change the company. You know what I'm saying? Like, the company's going to change. I mean, I say this all the time. Man, this is getting black and white, but I'm just going to use it. I always say that's like the Christmas tree. You got a green Christmas tree. You put a red bulb, a red topper on it. Does that make the tree red? Still green. So I can name a Black CEO of a company. So it's still the same thing. That's not no diversity to me. It's like you know what I'm saying? Turn a dog to a cat. That's what we doing. All right. So that's what
you raised some good points, man. I mean, when you think about it's important, but from the perspective of going down to the root and figuring out where the root is, pulling out the bad root and planting a whole nother seed is, and I think a lot of people want the here and now feel of it because we've been programmed to believe that it was beneficial to us from that regard, right? And so surface level, let's put this program in place. But like you said, the program, what is the program going to do for the culture, for the belief system, you know what I mean, of that organization, which is right on par.
Yeah. And so, because that's what I'm saying. So that I say to the DEI thing, like, it ain't 100 anyway. But conveniently, like I said, I used Apple. And I'm like, yo, Yeah, Apple didn't move their DEI, but do you really think Apple's a diverse company? I said, you want to keep it real. Everybody turn in their iPhone. Don't buy no more. Because there's a reason that they didn't get rid of DEI because they know you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I said, I don't own one Apple product, but I got Apple stock. That's all the DEI I need. So y'all keep buying them. New iPhone come out. I want y'all to get that. Because the joint split I got in, it's going to split again and I'm going to get back in. And y'all keep buying them. Go ahead. Keep doing it. But then go to Target and say, well, y'all in DI. Go to Amazon with it. Apple ain't no DI. If I go to their C-suite, it don't look like this show right here. They don't. So, I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's selective. It's a consumer thing. Who came up with this? Oh, we gonna do it. Y'all ain't boycotting nothing because it's too much. You can attack me. You can say, oh, well, you're an Android user. Whatever. I got Google stock too. So look, don't matter to me. That's the DI I'm on. I mean, come on, man. We not these entities. Let's take it. You got a company. Say you got a store or something. The community says they want you ought to hire more people with big ears or something. You know, whatever. I don't know. So you got your stores rolling. People buying from you, whatever. They're going to tell you who you need to hire now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now you buying something that they coming to get. And you got some people that say, well, no, don't go buy there. Whatever. They do that. In a small store, it might happen. But for ear discrimination, I don't know. Who knows? But you know who's always the loudest voices in those situations? People who don't even shop at your store. so it's the same thing.
It's like a fight when a fight break out in the crowd and people just start punching somebody. They fighting for no reason. They got nothing to do with it, right? They just want to start punching somebody just to get something off.
And they ain't got nothing to do with the fight. They just start busting over them. Yo, word is a fight. I've been waiting to hit anybody. I'm going to hit anybody. Yo, was like, get it. So,
right.
You know, but look, so I'm gonna tell you. Look, I just have a different perspective for this, man. And look, I'm just like, the game gotta step up. We gotta step the game up, man. It ain't gonna work. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, it's not, because the human resolve is gonna fold before, you know. Like I said, if it could work, then impress me. Shut down your iPhones. Yeah, nah, we ain't using that no more. Apple don't invest no money in the hood, which they don't. So, I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like
iPhones,
MacBooks. Yeah, all that. Yeah. Yo, you pay more. I mean, just, and this is not no hate on it, but just you paying for the brand of in Apple. And as I said, I'm a shareholder, so I'm loving it. I don't have no problem with it. But what I'm trying to tell you is technical specs. They're not superior to like other products, but you buying the brand name. You mind it, you paying a premium for it. You feel comfortable about it. What they giving people back? Yeah, the employees, they got DEI. I mean, that's putting ink in white paint. You know, as soon as you put a drop of ink in white paint, it's no longer white, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's diverse. So I'm just saying.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah. Let me say anything. You know, we talk about it all the time when we talk about in business. Like, people say, "Oh, we have," like, you spoke to the bank. People say, "Oh, well, we have diversity in lending." You only need one person. Right. One person. So if you ever have a program that you have it, you go back to the banks, especially. You go back to the person that you've already dealt with, and they fit the criteria. You know that they're good. They're going to pay you. You know, you don't have to worry about it. Mm-hmm. Or outwardly, what you're going to say, we're diverse. I don't know. I don't know how popular this is gonna be. Might get taken down. Who knows? But no, actually, it might get hit. We might get a whole bunch of red hats. But what I'm saying is, it's for me. I'm just a little. I think hugging the porcupine has lit something in me to say that, you know what, the tactics to hug the porcupine have gotten me to the point to say, yo, I gotta speak on stuff, man. But I don't like running in quicksand. I don't know about you, but running in quicksand makes no sense. It's a waste of time.
Right.
So we got to get better tactics to enact change. That's all I'm saying. I gave my 2 cents. I could be a lunatic. I'll take that too. But I just think it's difficult in the United States to tell people not to spend money. I really believe that's all. We too ingrained to it now, and because we have credit, like it's too. Like you want to tell people don't spend your dollars there. So they saying, well, where I'm gonna spend it at? They're not saying, you know what? No, I don't need, X, Y, Z. And I think overall, what I'm saying is, if you gonna break the system, you gotta break the whole system. Don't be like picking and choosing. Oh, we're gonna pick these places. Nah, everybody, man. Starbucks, the whole nine. Like, yo, if you gonna shut it down, you gonna shut it down. Like, yeah, nowadays, like you gonna be like, nah, we divested all the way live. Yo, we doing that. Now you got somebody saying, well, hey, wait a minute.
Well, someone will give you a pushback and say we got to start somewhere,
but they're not going to.
No, when I say start somewhere, I know. The one day movement is starting somewhere.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, what happened the next day?
Yeah, I mean, people want to spend the money like crazy.
So now they got one. They saying on Amazon it's supposed to be for a week and a half or something, or through the rest of the month. You ain't supposed to spend no money. Blackout. I mean, I don't think people understand how huge this company is.
I just seen a whole bunch of Amazon trucks this week.
You gonna keep seeing them. Like, and on top of that, listen, that's not the only place they make money. Half the webs, I almost promise you, the Meta website, all the Meta websites,
they're using AWS
and all that are all hosted on Amazon servers.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to stop using them too? I mean, like what I'm saying.
So I guess so now that we done identified the problem and we done agitated the problem, right? The solution is to do something impactful, right?
Yeah.
Where do we begin? Do we begin with educating people on corporate and global economics?
We start on educating them on economics, period.
Just economics, period.
Economics, period. Because one of the other things that I told Ranita I was going to say today, it's controversial, is that, listen, you got PhD topics out here where a lot of the culture is still in nursery school.
Mm-hmm.
They doing nursery rhymes. They talking about, man, that's why I said that whole movement is there. Like, it's a nursery school situation. Because most people don't understand economics. Most people don't understand personal economics, small business economics, but getting the global economics and all that, that's the way we start up there, they're going to glaze out. But it's saying what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying right there, like, one of the things is that, we in some cases, we're slave to the dollars. Like,
Mm-hmm.
We're influenced by media. Media controls where our money goes. We go there. These conglomerates are intertwined. Oh, Amazon, are you going to stop streaming? You can't stream though. You know, certain stuff don't stream. You can't stream. If you're not gonna buy from Amazon, I mean, like you ain't gonna give them no money. You can shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
But these corporations, we've allowed them to get into, you know, permeate through our situation so much that, you know, so one is teaching them, but two, it's working in it. Like I said, how many people got Amazon stock? I know it's like $2,000 shares on right now. I don't know what it is, but you could buy in Robinhood. How many people got that? That's what I said. The equivalent of like somebody trying to make you change their store. They don't even shop there. They protesting up front, and they see they hate the sign. Don't buy here. You don't buy here anyway. So what the fuck? I don't care. I'm not gonna stop you. You know, you might try to stop other people. Other people like, yeah, dog, can you get out the way, man? You know, that's what I'm saying. Like you, if you want to enforce change, what do they listen to? We always say that. I think it's rephrasing the thing that they listen to money. They listen to money. Okay, they listen to money, but it's not necessarily all you know, and especially these companies are global.
Mm-hmm.
So the U.S. part, you might make a situation, right?
Yeah.
They sell to the rest of the world. The rest of the world ain't stopping them. They like, yeah, we good. We good.
Like the Americans over there.
Yeah, they bugging. They sell all over the world. So what did you do? You get in the game. Some of y'all in the game is, you know, in your mutual funds and your 401ks or whatever you got, 403bs. But what I'm saying is to make change, whoever the leaders are, maybe we starting today, maybe we the leaders, you know. So it'll be a life of oppression for us. But what I'm saying is the tactics. First of all, the mission is not identified clearly. The strategy, so hereby the strategy is not there. And the tactics, we using tactics from the you know, the 20th century. Boycott. What's the last? I mean, I'm being totally serious in the chat. What's the last boycott that worked? Just all, you know, I mean, I'm not saying there isn't one, but what is the last boycott that worked? I can't. I mean, I may be in sports or something. I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm not saying they don't work, but I'm just it's a prevalent tactic. But does it work? The efficiency or the effectiveness of the tactic, is it the same as it used to be? Not the Montgomery bus boycott. So that's the last one. That's the one we said on record that worked. Okay. But I mean, from that point now, what is the last boycott that the tactic working? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like we don't know. So I'm just saying we using this tactic in 2025 where people don't, and we using it against people that effectively control the media stream. They control people. Media controls people's decisions and points of view. They effectively control that. So we're boycotting things or trying to boycott things that are telling people you don't really want to boycott. All Amazon got to do, Amazon, Target, whatever. They're going to institute another sales holiday. Your boycott, they'll say, oh, this March. It'll be after tax sale. Over this much off, you could buy this. Oh, man, I know we ain't supposed to, but damn, dog, man, I've been looking at that for a minute.
Nah, matter of fact, they'll mess around and go, send your returns over here. You'll get not only the money quicker, but we'll apply a bigger discount to your purchases.
Yeah, they definitely got the room to do that.
Right? So that's a tactic.
That's a tactic right there. We came up with a solution for them, not for the people.
Right.
Man, that's not good. But like I said, but there is a solution. My conversation is not about hopelessness. It's saying that,
no, it's critical thinking, right? So let's dive into it a little bit differently here, right? So it's critical thinking and taking practical actions to really make some change. You know what I mean? And by no suitors, this ain't even easy at all. But let's not injure ourselves any further by making haphazard decisions or surface level conversation to make the emotions of situations feel good is really what it is that you're saying, right? And so
feel like you're doing something. That's why I say running. Like you're kind of running quicksand. Like
make it sound fly to you, so they can
like you're doing something. I'm like, dude, I'm like, yo, we're not going to change these organizations to something else. If you want something that's clearly defined or something, there has to be something on a capital level to contribute. And then, like, you know, the boss play, and there may be a store out there like this. I don't know. The boss play would have been like if Kmart hadn't gone under, or like, you know, like some people of color bought like Sears or something, and like maybe Sears the spot, like just cage to it and move that money over there. That was like, yeah, we ain't going to Target no more. We going to, you know, over here now. Like it's just something else. Obviously, that's not an overnight solution, but what I'm saying is the thought pattern to say, yo, okay, you know, because to me it's like saying we're going to show you that our money matters, and you need to change, because you know what, we'll stop shopping here if you don't change your ways. Oh, okay, no problem. Here's our new diversity officer who got an office in the basement. Yeah. You happy now? Come on back in. Come shop. Come on, everybody, come back in.
With no windows.
Yeah, no windows at all. It's like that. Pay him good money too. So what's my job description? To be the diversity officer. That's what does that mean? You know, you could set up, you know, like little lunches, you know, cultural lunches and stuff like that. Like that's what we need to do. I mean, I would take the job too. Like, why not? I'm saying, like, yo, but
you don't take it. You don't take it because what? They paying you a lot of money.
Hey, I mean,
hush money.
Well, no, I'm saying, see, you got to go there. No, I'm just saying. What I'm saying is that is a legit job. You go get the job. I don't fault anyone that took a DEI job.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, but, I'm just saying that, yo, the job, like, did we achieve anything? Did we achieve anything?
So like, let me throw this at you though, right? What about the part of the argument where, because it was taken away, so we all know that, oh shoot, it doesn't come with going to be too. That's funny. That's funny.
But most likely, yes. Because you gotta represent. You probably we got sponsors. We're gonna give you some sponsorship money.
But they not even black owned anymore though. But I digress from that.
Now that's where you got And how many of y'all got Viacom stock? That's what I want to know.
So we know that it was taken away, and we know that the apparent damage that is done was to, you know, to minorities, people of color, right? But what did you? But what did you? I haven't even forgot my question because we were joking on that thing right there. I'll come back to it. I'll remember it in a second.
You yield.
You got me screwed. Yeah, I yield back, bro.
Oh, nah, man. I'm just in the case y'all. We didn't put it on the screen. We got.
Yeah, no, we didn't. You gonna
put it up there?
Yeah, it's all good.
Yo, man. So of course, someone asked, "Does the DEI job, come with tickets to the?" And I said no, but realistically, probably so, because you're gonna go sponsor stuff, you know. But as you pointed out, BT is, you know, public, owned by the public. Let's put it that way. So that's a thought. A movement to go purchase it. Byron Allen probably could.
Byron Allen could buy now.
He could buy it.
Now that's perfect example of making some moves and silently making moves and making some changes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he ain't celebrated as much as you know these young entrepreneurs.
Well, no, of course. Why would he be? Right? I mean, he's not doing it to be celebrated either.
No, but I'm saying studied. They take 20-year-olds that he did $1 million selling 3 duplexes or something like that, and he like that. And but this guy has literally built an entertainment company, and he suffered, and he went through.
Yeah.
And like that, but he got the key, and I wouldn't expect him to. He shouldn't have the weight of buying it himself. No. It's like that. So yeah, so we're gonna boycott something, but we don't even own BG. I mean, Tyler Perry act like he wants. He runs it. So I think the summation of what we saying as E-Myth people is that we ain't running nothing. So our point of view is coming from the consumer aspect, the user, the end user. And it's, well, you guys aren't, right now it's in there and you don't have enough people that look like me working for you. So I'm not going to buy anything else from you. Okay. It's like, you know what? If it gets too bad, you know what? Hey, we got somebody that look like you, and we're going to put them in charge of hiring more people that look like you. All right? They ain't actually going to hire more people that look like you. They'll hire them on the front line, the people you see in the store. I ain't never seen no diversity problem at Target or Walmart or Home Depot or anywhere else on the front line. That ain't the real change. Got plenty of them.
Satisfactory for most, though.
But you know what's interesting? There ain't a lot of diversity in what the aforementioned Apple stores. I walk past them and ain't a lot of diversity. Ain't the diversity like it is in Target or Walmart. Is there? Oh, man. Well, how be doggone? That's something. Don't have that Apple lab with the, where they teaching people how to fix iPhones in a community center in the hood or something like that, right? But they all right then, because they kept their DEI program. So we ain't going to boycott them. They cool. They all right, because they kept their program.
Yeah. I mean, man, there's so much to unpack with that stuff. This goes back to what we always talk about: learning, continuous learning, reading. You got to spend some time on mastering yourself, building your knowledge base, building your understanding, building your strategy, your strategic approach, building your tactics and taking action and implementing. And these things will be a little bit more evident. You'll be able to see behind the curtain, because it's a lot of curtains out here. I like to say there's a lot of zippers. You know what I mean? It's a lot of wolves in sheep clothing. They just unzip themselves or zip themselves up depending on the situation. So, as individuals and as business owners, no matter what you do, we are living a life of money. We are living a life of goods and services. This is what we function on every single day. We get up thinking about how much we're gonna make today and what we're gonna buy today. We go to sleep on how much we spent today and how much we got left today. And we repeat the cycle every single day. But in between that, what are we doing to learn, to understand? Because if we understand, the consequences are not, they're not hurtful sacrifices. You know what I mean? Because there's a sacrifice in everything, right? Or mostly everything. But the sacrifice is for the better good, and it becomes a good consequence, you know? And then we can have more change. We can have more respect for each other as people. We can even have appreciation and gratitude for the things that we're dealing with in life, right?
Yep.
So, you know, if you haven't done it in years and years and years, just pretend like you're going to move from your current location and start going through the clutter. See how many things that you actually going to be throwing away that you haven't used in a while. And it's the same thing, right? What are we cluttering up and not making room for? And learning is that way. So, you know, if we stay with the TV programs, if we stay influenced by the social media, if we stay influenced by, you know, the naysayers and not do the work ourselves, we will have clutter. That closet, when you open the door, everything's going to fall out because there's nothing organized in there. And it's just like the brain, right? So, you know, I'm trying to come from a different perspective. You know, everybody's views is everybody's views. And that's totally fine. That's important, right? Because then you get different perspectives. You can walk around it 360 and not be one-sided, you know? But again, how do we got to open up these thought processes. We have to open up these conversations, and then we have to open up these take action groups that actually looking for the short-term wins, the long-term successes. And those things can be generations down the road, right? So I just yield back from there, man. You know, I just wanted to recap on your great conversation for the day. Nah, you wasn't on the rant. That wasn't a rant. They've all seen your rants.
They've seen the rant. There wasn't a rant, but it was just you know what? This was a financial flip side episode. That's what happened.
True.
Financial flip side, and we just make you think. Like I said, look, we
sitting around here. Next episode too.
Yeah, well, I told my peeps, I said, yeah, you're probably gonna tackle that, but they're gonna tackle out the whole environment of what's happening, bringing the government aspect. But it just came to me, and I said, you know what? I mean, look, this is the bottom line is I get tired or frustrated. I'm not gonna say tired because, well, like I said earlier, we dealing with PhD level issues or opportunities, and we have nursery school intellect, and people don't want to go to kindergarten. They want to stay in nursery school because the number of people that will say, well, I don't know anything about I just don't know nothing about it. I don't know nothing. Put their head in the sand, and then they turn around. They want generational wealth and whatever term of the year, financial freedom and all that. But they don't want to. They don't want to learn nothing. So you hit on the head, Professor.
Let me get them people some resources to go after. Right, The Big Short. The Big Short. That's a movie. It's a Big Short.
The Big Short.
The Big Short. Right. It's a book too, by Michael Lewis. But The Big Short helps you understand financial crises, how they're analyzed, what the trends are, and to determine what a financial crisis is, right? So real high level, 90 days is an important number. It's an important factor. It's actually why there's 4 quarters in a year, which is relatable to
what you know about
business tax estimated payments, which that's another episode, right? Understanding government policies. Like there's a book out there called Freakonomics. I got to go back to that because I haven't read that book in a long time. You know what I mean? You know, this is taking me to a whole nother level, right? Harvard Business Review. Sign up for their newsletter. Stay on it, right? Stay on it, and then play around and understand what what strategy is. Strategy, this is something we teach in business therapy, but strategy is doing things when there's nothing to do. Right? Doing something when there's nothing to do. That's coming up with a strategy, and then you implement that strategy as a tactic because you've defined what you need to do now. Tactics is doing something when you need to do something.
Exactly.
Right. So, hopefully those resources help. Right. So again, The Big Short, Freakonomics, Harvard Business Review, start there. I mean, there's other applications, there's other information newsletters and things of that nature, but start there. Start there.
Yep. And look for the financial flip side to reemerge possibly as a newsletter.
Stay tuned.
Got me going now. So that's more personal finance based. But anyway, we keep talking for another hour, and we're not going to because it's tax season, and we got to be out. So if you have comments, put them down in the underneath. Got questions, comments. You want to disavow me from the movement, whatever. That's cool.
Listen, man, there's people out there that understand your thinking, man. So
yeah,
I wouldn't even throw that in the air, brother.
Yeah, well, maybe or you want to start a new movement. Hey, listen, it's like that.
Or you want to be a guest on Financial Flip Side.
Oh, you want to be a guest here? You got a business? A business owner? We want to interview business owners too.
Yeah, true too. True.
The thing is, there's not enough media out here talking to the people that are winning, losing, and in between. It's real life. So if you got somebody suggest that we reach out to, put it in there, email us. We're going to set up a new email. By the time you hear this podcast at Heyward CPA, so you can send us any information related to these shows and let us know. And until then, we'll see when we back in. It'll still be March when we come back in. So
we'll be back on the 22nd.
On the 22nd. So tell a friend, and peace out. Yo, we out. We chucking up the deuce, right? Peace.